Lesson, let's talk about conditionals: zero, first, second, and third. Now, what do you mean by conditionals? If you're an English teacher, you're familiar with this. If you're a student, you might be confused. And if you're not familiar with this, keep watching. In English grammar, conditionals talk about what could happen, what might have happened, what we wish would happen, and it contains the word if. We use this structure: if clause plus the main clause. If clause is the condition and the main clause is the result. Zero conditional is the easiest because we're talking about the result in general, or it has a scientific result. So we'll only use if plus present simple. In the main clause, we also use present simple. It is used to talk about things that are generally true, and it has a scientific result. Again, zero conditional usually talk about things that are generally true and has scientific result. Let's say, for example, if you heat ice, the result, it melts, right? Naturally, it melts. Another example, if babies are hungry, what happens? Of course, they cry. So, generally, they're hungry, they cry. Moving on to first conditional, we use this pattern: if plus present simple, and then you put comma, followed by subject, plus will or the negative want, plus verb, base form. Will plus base form. That is first conditional. Again, it talks about possibilities in the present or future. First conditional talks about possibilities in the future or now, which is present. Okay? For example, if it's sunny, we will go picnic in the park. So we're talking about possibility of the weather condition. If it's sunny, so we will go to picnic in the park. We will go picnic, So that's the possible situation. Another, if you study hard, you will pass the exam. We're talking about possibility. If you don't study, you won't pass. Okay? As you can see the structure, if and then you put comma, we will plus the base form. Moving on to the next conditional, we will talk about second conditional. We use the pattern if plus past simple, comma, subject, would plus verb, base form. We can also change the main clause and then if clause, but then do not use comma. Main clause, next is if. We don't use comma for that. The second conditional talks about action in situations that are unlikely or impossible. Again, we're talking about impossible situation. Unlikely. So, imagine something that is impossible. Let me give you some examples. If I were 24, I would travel around the world, which means that's impossible because I'm not 24. Let's just say I'm 30. So the situation is impossible. Take note, if I were, comma, I would, next is base form, travel. Another example, if I were the president, I would cancel the new project. It means that I'm talking about impossible situation or scenario because I'm just thinking about unreal situation. You can also use the opposite structure. I would cancel the new project if I were the new president. It simply means that I'm not the president. That's why I said if I were, meaning it cannot be. Finally, our last conditional is the third conditional. We're talking about past action that did not happen and its imaginary result in the past, which means something already happened, but we cannot change it. We just imagine the result in the past. Take note, past action that did not happen, and we're just imagining the result. Okay? The structure is if plus past perfect, you put comma, subject plus would, or you can use the negative wouldn't, plus have plus past participle, or for some English teachers we use PP or past participle, have plus PP. Again, you can reverse the pattern, subject plus would or wouldn't, plus have PP, no more comma, and if clause. Let's have some examples. She would have become a nurse if she had gone to university. So we're using the reverse structure. You have noticed we're not using comma. The second example, if Anna had studied, she would have passed the exam. Had studied is the past perfect, would have passed. That's the main clause. So let me emphasize sentence number 1. She would have become a nurse if she had gone to university, which means she didn't go to university. Now she's not a nurse. Okay? You got it? That's all for today, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.